talk about, title is, You Have to Get Your Feet Wet to Get to Your Promised Land. Joshua 3:7-17, I'm going to read it. This is when they were coming out of the wilderness. Everybody's been in a wilderness.
Yeah.
And some may still be in a wilderness. There's hope.
Amen.
And the Lord said to Joshua, Today I will begin to exalt you in the eyes of all Israel, so they may know that I am with you as was with Moses. Tell the priest who carry the Ark of the Covenant, when you reach the edge of Jordan's waters, go and stand in the river. He's doing just what he did 40 years before with the water. Joshua said to the Israelites, Come here and listen to the words of the Lord your God. Drive out before you, I'm just going to say the enemies, all these ites, your enemy. See, the ark of the covenant of the Lord of all the earth will go into the Jordan ahead of you. Now then, choose 12 men from the tribes of Israel, one from each tribe. And as soon as the priests who carry the ark of the Lord of all the earth, set foot in the Jordan, when its waters flowing downstream will be cut off and stand up in a heap. Jordan means a really, really, really fast river. That's what Jordan means. So when the people broke camp to cross the Jordan, the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant went ahead of them. Now the Jordan is at flood stage during harvest. So it was flooded. It wasn't like ankle. It was like flooded. Yet as soon as the priests who carried the ark reached the Jordan and their feet touched the water's edge, the water from the upstream stopped flowing. It piled up in a heap a great distance away at a town called Adam in the vicinity of Jerusalem, while the water flowing down to the sea of, it was coming from the Dead Sea, was completely cut off. So the people crossed over opposite Jericho. The priests who carried the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord stopped in the middle of the Jordan and stood on dry ground while all Israel passed by until the whole nation had completed the crossing of dry land. Wow. They had to get their feet wet first. If you have ever spent time in the wilderness of life, which we all have, then you have probably spent time thinking about the Promised Land. That place where life will be better, more settled, and easier. Each of us could tell a story of life in the wilderness. Amen. Everybody said that. It is that place where life is just difficult. It is a struggle just to get up each morning and to make it through the day. Most of the time we want to escape the wilderness. If we could have our way, we would like God to just pluck us out of the wilderness and put us in our promised land and not have to go through nothing. God does not rescue or save us from the circumstances of our lives. Instead, God goes through those circumstances with us. Amen. And it makes us stronger. Amen. For every wilderness, there is a promised land. And for every promised land, there is a river Jordan that must be crossed. Praise God. The Jordan River is the boundary between the wilderness and the promised land. It is the obstacle standing between us and the promised land. What is your promised land? It could be a new job, a promotion, an increase in income, restoration of relationships, a new church building. Whatever it is, you will have a river Jordan to cross to get to it. And what is your river? What is a river Jordan? It's fear, insecurities, doubt, unforgiveness, discouragement. I'm going to stop here and give my mini testimony. This is only God and up here. He started back when my kids were small. We was in church all the time, and I was in ministry of some sort, but I like to be behind the scenes. I didn't like to be up in the front. I was at one church. I was doing Sunday school, but I was helping out with children's church. Well, she wanted me to read a story. I got up there and I froze. I said, I can't do this. So The next time the Lord wanted me to step out was the singles at Glad Tidings. Now that was only the Lord. It came out of my mouth, yes. That was the Lord, because, like, why did I just say that? Because that's a big responsibility.
Yeah.
But Pastor Paula had asked me to do it just for 2 years. So I said, okay, I'm going to do it for 2 years. The first year was horrible. I did not like it. I kept complaining and whining. And it didn't go too good. The second year, the Lord sent me someone to help, and it was just great. We had a Valentine's banquet. We raised money when my 2 years was up and He released me. We had money in the singles funds, which there never was.
Wow.
So that was the Lord. But and then now this. That's what He has me doing now. Let's see. It is whatever is keeping you from getting to your promised land. As soon as the priest stepped into the water, it started to part. So we have to take the first step. And He's going to tell you what that is.
That's right.
And you're probably not going to be comfortable with it.
Yeah.
You're going to have to do it afraid. Just got to get up and do it. Getting your feet wet does require faith. Your first step may be applying for a job you don't feel you're qualified for. Forgiving someone who has hurt you, or increasing your tithe for an increase in your income. And I think that's what y'all did.
Yeah, we did.
And I think
You
that's what
encouraged
came to
everybody
me.
at the first of the year.
That came to me. That's why your income stretched,
Yeah.
because the enemy came after you, and your work kind of slowed down, but you were faithful to
Yeah.
keep it. So that's the result of that.
That's
You
right.
just got to keep plowing through.
Amen. Praise God.
Take that first step, and you have given God something to work with.
Amen.
The floodwaters of your life will be parted, dry land will be revealed, and the way forward will be open to you. We
Amen.
all need to get our feet wet.
Amen.
Good.